Wow. I'd like to thank Casey Jones for that extremely provocative photo that he found of me. I kind of had a feeling that something like that was going to go down. Wow. Whew. Ladies and gentlemen, hide your daughters. That man is... Woo! Woo! Wow. Well, first of all, I'd obviously like to thank the Hall of Fame. I'd like to thank the University of Miami for an unbelievable pedestal that it gave me. I would like to thank and congratulate, obviously, my fellow inductees. Obviously, my roomie dog, Ken Dorsey, who graciously placed his hands between my legs for many, many years. It was kind of ironic because the minute we embraced backstage, he said, "Oh my God, I remember that smell." You know, it's like, where have you been the last decade of my life? I've been here. But ultimately, I would obviously love to thank my number one accomplishment in my life, and that is obviously my extremely good-looking wife, Emily Romberg, of 9 long but wonderful years. Thank you so much, babe. I love you so much. I would also like to thank my parents, my mother who's here tonight. My dad couldn't make it, but I'd like to thank them for always allowing me to make my own decisions, allowing me to become my own man and develop my own, I guess, sense of who I'm going to be. I'd like to thank you for always finding a way to give me everything that I needed and not always giving me everything that I wanted. And I think that really built a stronger, more character young man than vice versa, if it would happen the other way along. I would obviously love to thank my Miami parents, my suegro and suegra, who I've learned how to speak Spanish. Tamara and Ricardo Rubio, thank you so much. I couldn't have asked for a more supportive family structure than those two individuals over there. Thank you so much for everything that you do for me and Emily day in and day out. The list is endless. Thank you for allowing a sultry 300-pound, long-haired, barbaric human being to come into your home and raid your fridge and take your daughter. But you always made me feel like you gained a son and never lost a daughter. And thank you so much for everything that you guys do for us day in and day out. Thank you. I'd like to thank the people who came here tonight to support me, obviously. I have my neighbors and new friends. Obviously, my agent, Gene, in the corner, and then my 2 boys, who I'll get to later on, obviously. And obviously, there's some people over there that I'm going to address in my speech, but I'd like to thank them and everybody who came to support me, Kenny, all the inductees tonight. Thank you so much. The first person who I'd like to talk about falls into the category of, I know everyone has a person who enters into his or her lifetime at certain key moments that will ultimately alter who they become as an individual. This first man came into my life when I was in high school. He gave everything, and I mean everything, of himself. He was my football coach, my basketball coach, my track and field coach. Actually, he even gave me his car keys when I was unlicensed, underage, and uninsured. It was a lesson in responsibility, but I really do appreciate that. This gentleman, hour after hour, day after day, gave everything, like I said, and taught me the game of football, taught me about toughness, taught me about respect, taught me about responsibility. He was not only my coach and my mentor, but this man, I believe, basically molded me. And I am honored and I am absolutely ecstatic that he is sitting with my family and my friends tonight. This guy continues to do the same thing that he did with me. He actually coaches at Vince Wilfork's high school now. He actually moved south of the border. He migrated, much did I myself. So he coaches at Vince Wilfork's high school in Palm Beach, doing the same thing, mentoring young men, making them better human beings, better people for society. And ultimately, I want to thank him for everything that he's done for me and everything that he continues to do for those people in Palm Beach County. Thank you very much, John Bloomfield. The second man obviously really needs no introduction, but I'm going to introduce him anyway. Arthur Francis Kehoe. Yeah, some people call him Art, some people call him Coach Kehoe, but with our twisted mind and the way that we worked at that side of the building in the offensive line, his mother called him Arthur Francis, so we're going to call him Arthur Francis. This gentleman's passion, his intensity for the University of Miami, his blood pressure, everything is unparalleled. This man, it gives everything for this school and this program. 15 years ago, Coach Kehoe made his way up to what he likes to call the armpit of Canada, which is my hometown of Windsor, Ontario, and ultimately convinced my family that Miami was going to be the place for Brett Romberg to grow and mature. I definitely grew, fell short of the maturity, but we keep fighting the good fight. So between Coach Kehoe's snarling Saigon squats that he did before every practice of crouching down and staring into your eyes and barking and growling and snarling, or the extremely aggravating after practice exhausting sandbox sets that we used to do amongst each other, this man found a way to ultimately either enthrall you with passion or absolutely break you down. Obviously, with the group that we had, it was enthralling us with some passion. He is ultimately the most passionate human being, to repeat myself, for this university that I've ever seen in my life. He's extremely contagious. He makes the university, he makes the equipment staff, he makes the trainers, he makes everybody a better person at this school. And I cannot stress that more, that I am extremely glad, and I speak for, I'm sure, everybody in this room, that Arthur Francis Kehoe is back in the building, back at the University of Miami. He was never a selfish coach. He was always open door policy, never a dictator. Wasn't a my way or the highway type of coach. Always listened to the suggestions that myself or Joaquin or Shirko possibly had to better any type of blocking scheme we might have had. It was always the greater good of the offensive line. And I believe, I think we gave up 3 sacks for the national championship year, not as an offensive line, but as a total offense. And Kehoe never took any gratitude whatsoever for that. And I think Kenny's underwear actually had more stains on him than his uniform did. So it was an unbelievable season, an unbelievable year. It's been 10 years. I had to throw one in on him. It had to happen. So I apologize for that, Kenny. I'm sure you. But there's actually something very special about this school, very special about this program, and I believe it's the people that belong to it. The 4 years that I had, the 4 years of blood, sweat, pain, and adversity, basically taught us that it was all about the process and it wasn't about the outcome. This process molded us into individuals that created habits, and it was all about doing things one way, and that was the right way. Doing things the right way makes all the difference in the world. Creating those habits makes all the difference in the world. It was all about the journey, and it was never about the pot at the end of the rainbow. And without that journey, we wouldn't be the same individuals I think that we are today. Without that the people that actually were around me, my teammates, I wouldn't have been able to accomplish that journey. So I really want to thank my teammates especially. I think they were the greatest team ever assembled in the history of college football. I really do. We were a massive, massive family. We were all for one, one for all. There was never any drama. There was never any hate. There was never any segregation. We all hung together. We loved each other. We did everything as a team on and off the field. We constantly competed. There was always competition every day in everything that we did. We even spent our downtime between practices and camp making up songs about each other's mothers, wives, girlfriends, sisters. We actually broke each other down. Exactly. We actually broke each other down mentally and built up that thick, leathery skin that you actually need at this university. And that was a trait passed down from generations prior to us. Casey Joneses, Mario Cristobal's. There was something in that offensive line room that was a little twisted and sick, but you needed it. You really did need it. So we spent that time breaking each other down in order to build each other up to become stronger and stronger human beings. So were there difficult times? Guaranteed. Stressful times, no doubt. But there wasn't a harder working team in college football than the University of Miami Hurricanes. I think my best friends in college ended up becoming my best friends in life. Tribute is that to guys like Casey Jones, Rich Mercier, Pat Delvecchio, Eric Schnupp, Joaquin Gonzalez, Sherko Haji Razuli, Jim Wilson, just to name a few names that are here tonight to support me. It's been an unbelievable journey. It's been special. The people that have been involved in it, it's a lifetime of stories, a lot of which I can't speak about tonight. Yeah. But we all wanted to be national champs. We all wanted to be champions. That was the common theme that we all wanted.
And you did it.
And we did it, correct. We did it, thank you. It became all about the U on your helmet, the name that you wore on the back of your jersey, and the guy that played beside you. No matter where I'm at in the world today, I could hear the first three notes of Phil Collins in the air tonight. The hair on the back of my neck stands up. I'm instantaneously transported back to the Orange Bowl with the smell of the grass, the chill that you get running through that smoky helmet, and ultimately the roar of the dedicated University of Miami Hurricane fans, all of which made me proud then and even more proud now to be a Miami Hurricane. Thank you very much.
Well done, Pat. Thank you. Good job. Good job.